Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss one more chapter called data types. So, what is data type means? So, computer works with only two things. One is data, other is instructions. So, data type refers to the what are the types of data we are going to provide or on which the instructions performs different operations. To do this, C++ supports different data types, simple or fundamental data types, derived data types, and also user-defined data types. According to the requirements, we shall use all of these data types. So when you learn this programming, when you start writing programming, so then you will understand the role of data types. And also when we write the structure of C++, and also we are talking about the constants, there also we discussed about some data type like integer constant, float constant, character constant, something like that. And that is the same thing we are discussing now. Those are the data types which will be the very essential for writing any computer programs. Let us we go in detail with the data types. So already we have discussed about float characters, like when we discussed about constant. Okay, constant fixed value which does not changes during the execution of the program. That is, we can have an integer constant, we can have a character constant, or we can have a real or floating constant. And also we have a decimal. We have different types of integer constant, decimal, integer constant, octal. That's what we have discussed. So in this chapter, let us we'll understand in depth about the elementary building blocks of C++ program. So actually the main concept that's involved to construct programs, to write programs, this data types plays a vital role. We'll discuss that one. To understand the programming language, we need first understand the elementary concept from which the building blocks of the program forms the building block of that program. The building blocks includes variables, which are very important. Means the variables, how means we'll understand when you write programs, data types and other things we discuss one by one. So therefore it becomes absolutely necessary to concentrate and understand about data types, variables and expressions. C++ provides a set of data types to handle all the data, that is handle different data that is used by the program. It is categorized as already I've told, fundamental data types and derived data types. So derived data types is further classified into built-in data types and user-defined data types. So these data types are applied on identifiers, that's a variable called as a variables, and these variables actually represent the real world data. That's where we are going to store the real world data values or whatever we are storing, that is stored in the variables. Variable is nothing but named memory location whose value changes during the execution of program. Like we have a constant, we have a tokens, we have discussed the smallest individual units, we have identifier, we have a constant. That even variable is like a token. So what does variable means? It is, as the name suggests, value changes during the execution of the program. Constant, its value does not changes, whereas the variable, the value changes. It's an identifier or it's a name given to the memory location whose value changes during the execution of program. So that is what variable. We'll discuss what is variable, how it is declared, and how the value will be supplied to the variables, what different types of variables can be formed. So C++ encourage you to use a meaningful names for variable according to what they represents in the real world. Variables are generally declared in the declaration section of the program and their values can be manipulated during the program execution. The variable names actually represent the storage location. That's what it's a named memory location whose value changes. That's what definition I said. The type of that value that it could hold also maximize the range of value that can be held by that variable. That is what it defines. So whenever we talk about a variable means it's a named memory location. It can take a value of specific type and it changes during the execution of program. That's how we can define. Variable is an object or an element. It's an identifier. So you can just an identifier and it is allowed to change. That's what very important. It changes during the execution of program, variable represent the name of the memory location. So it's a variable is a named memory location whose value changes during the execution of the program. That's how we can define a variable. Okay. So now let us learn how to declare variables. The syntax of declaring variables. So we have a data type followed by space variable. So when the program void main, there we have a declaration section and also we have a statements. So in declaration section, we have to define all the variables which we are going to use in program. So there, this is the syntax of declaring variables. So data type, that is what we are interested in now. We have to learn about data type and variable name. So already I have told variable name is an identifier. So when it's an identifier, the rules for naming identifier is already we have discussed. It starts with, should not start with alphabet. Some unsuccessive underscore is not allowed. Already we have discussed keyword should not be used as an identifier. All the same rules are applied for variable as well. But when we choose a variable name, we choose a descriptive name. So the name should be according to the role for which it has been created. Suppose I want to find sum of number and I want to store it in some variable. The name would be like sum, S-U-M, because that is the sum. Something like that. We'll understand those things, don't worry. So as an identifier, the rules, variable is an identifier and the rules for naming an identifier is already discussed in the previous chapter. So these variables are used to denote constants, arrays, functions, structures, classes and files. All we'll discuss. The variables are name, storage location whose value can be manipulated during the run or during the execution. There are some valid variables or like you can use a register number because underscore you can use but not successive underscore is not allowed. Only special symbol we can use is underscore. So marks, correct. This also we can use student 1. This is date of joining something DOJ. So these are all valid identifier name. According to the roles we can choose them. So double we cannot use because it's a keyword. Keyword should not be used as an identifier. Total marks, blank space is not allowed. So empty space is not allowed. Variable should not start with the digit. And special symbol, it is not allowed. Only underscore is allowed. So these are all cannot be used as an identifier. You cannot name the memory. So if you want to name them means, so we have to follow the identifier rules for creating. The same rules apply for creating identifier. The same rules also used for creating variables as well. So now after creating variable, you can initialize the variable. So what is initialization means? The process of assigning the values to the variables during the declaration. So this is the declaration and you can assign some value, constant value, some value you can assign. So that process is called as the initialization. Sometimes when we declare variable, we have to start with some initial value so that later on that value can be modified. So that is called initialization. Sometimes you may come across whenever we are doing some calculation, let it be 0 and later on we update that one. So in that case we want to use this initialization. So when to use initialization, it is depending on the requirement. Most of the program when variables are created, it is better to always initialize some constant value and then later on modify. Depending on the requirements, we may initialize with the 0 or we may initialize with 1 or any values which is required by the program necessity or required during the when you are writing programs. So so let us, we can see the example. So in int, b is a variable now. It's a integer type and now we initialize with 100. So b stores 100. You can see here, this is the variable b. So there are two values associated here. The variable, that is we have two things. One is L value, that is a locational value. This is data value, that's R value. You can see here integer p is 100. So this p, this is the memory location. You can see here. Okay, this memory location and it has a location address 2000 is the address and this is the R value, this is the L value. So value assigned to the variable is 100. That is called, what is stored in the memory location is called R value, that is data value. And the L value means address. You can see this 2000 is a location, memory, because I said it's a named memory location. Computer memory is a sequential. So wherever free space is there, that variables, whenever we declare like this, the compiler will allocate some memory and it is name is given to that one. So that memory has got address. So that address is called L value. You create one more variable that may be having different address, maybe next to it or maybe any other space available. Some wherever free space is available, there it is allocated. So already I told about L value location. It holds the memory address location at which data value is stored. That is P is 2000. That is P is now not variable. Its location value is 2000. R values is the data value. That is what you are storing. It holds the value assigned to the variable by the programmer. That's what we store. So R value of P is 100. So in the example, 100 is the data value we have stored. 2000. We don't worry about this address location, but because you must think there is some address in the memory also. Okay. C++ compiler allows us to declare variables at runtime. That is called pointers. We'll discuss a dynamic memory allocation. That is a dynamic initialization. They can be initialized anywhere in the program before they are used. Okay, that is something we'll discuss in the next. Okay, you can see here we have declared two variables, A, B, and also this is anywhere you can declare variables. So when you have a program, not only in declaration section, you can declare them anywhere. So we have declared temperature A, here one B is there, here A, and we have A, or something like this. You can assign also. The access modifier const is prefixed along with the data type, or a variable does not allow during the throughout the program. Sometimes we want to use like constant, so this value remains throughout the program means, so we can use a const. So when I use this one, this value never changes, it will be remain the same. You can see here I have declared variable integer A is equal to 100. In the above example, A is a variable with the value 100. But this value can be changed at any time. It's also possible to retain this value unchanged by using the keyword. So normally variable means the value usually changes. Suppose you don't want to change this value, it has to be remain same means throughout the program. You can use the keyword const. So when we use this keyword before the variable's declarations, then it modifies its access type, that is data type, access type, and the value remains unchanged for the variable. So it is, you can see here, so when I declare like this value never changes. So A remains throughout the program 100 only. So this keyword const becomes the access modifier for the variable. So a value can be changed to L value can be assigned to the L value only in an expression. It's not, value can be assigned only to, it's actually R value. So error, because a location we cannot assign. Value can be assigned to the R value only in an expression. Value can be assigned to a variable using the assignment operator. How do you assign the value using assignment operator? The expression to the left of an assignment operator should always be R value, memory location, because that memory location should be available to store the R value. The expression to the left of assignment operator should always be R value. That's a memory location name. Normally we use a name, that address, because the memory location should be available to store the R value. Right is the R value, data value. Constant identifier can appear to the right of the assignment operator only since are not R values. Constant identifiers can appear to the right of the assignment operator because they are not L values, that is the data values. You can see here they are different. Indirectly they are saying, when you can see here, so this is where, this is the A example if you take, this should be L value or its address, because A contains location address, and this is operator, right side should be some constant value, some 10, 20, 100, any value, because this need not be, this should not be a locational value, because normally we use some values to store. So data types, there are basically, I told, fundamental data types and derived data types and user defined data types. We'll go with one by one, we'll discuss all those things. So data type means to identify the type of data associated operation of handling it. Normally data type means type of data and also operations, which are the operations that can be performed on that data. Together we call it as a data type. So whenever we talk about data type means it comes with what are the operations which could be performed on that data and how much the space it is, that we'll discuss in detail when we discuss. Basically now it is associated with data and associated operations which can be performed on them. But actually what happens means whenever we talk about data type means, so it is not only just operation but also the amount of the storage that can handle and also the possible operation which could be performed. So based on this only we have our data types. So we'll discuss all this data type one by one. So C++ provides various facilities to handle different data types. The classification of data types is already we have discussed. So we have shown so simple or fundamental data types, complex or derived data types. Simple data types or fundamental data types includes natural, already it comes with the programming itself, log, integer, character, float, double and void. So these data types are used to represent in int means integer, float means floating point, real numbers, long floating means double, higher the memory, that all we'll discuss this one. And character type and characters, like we have alphabet, something like that. So the character types respectively according to this. And this void is nothing that we are not discussing in the void means nothing. So that data type represents nothing. So types, character types respectively, data types are constructed using simple derived data types are formed. Actually, derived, what is the second one? Derived data. Using this only, we form other data types that is called as a derived or complex data type. And they are further classified into a linear data structure and non-linear data structure that we'll discuss in the next. So in linear data structure, data elements are arranged linear. That's why it's called one after the other in sequence. So that examples, arrays, structures, unions, pointers, linked list, all we'll discuss in the next. Non-linear data structure, the elements are arranged non-sequential, other than adjacency relationship, not consecutive memory location. They are called as a non-linear data structures. So we have a graphs and trees. That's also we'll discuss. But this academic, we are discussing simpler fundamental data types and linear data structure only, not non-linear data structure. Okay, data type can be classified as a set of, or data type can be defined. You can define as a set of values which could be stored in a variable set along with the operation that could be performed on those values. That's how what is this? What is this? A set of values which can be stored. That's two things. Set of values which can be stored in a variable along with the operations, which are the operation can be performed on those values. Based on this only we have a data types. Now let us study about this different data types in detail, simple or fundamental data types. The primary data types which are not composed of any other data type. They are simple, directly they are the same. Okay, simple data types or fundamental data types, as already we discussed, we have an integer, we have a characters, we have a float, and also we have a double. Basically, these are the three is important, but this is according to the amount of space available. Now let us start with the integers. So int, whenever we are declaring some variable or memory location, if you define with, you can imagine, I think it's, okay, I'll continue, no problem. So I'm talking about integer data types. So whenever we talk about integer means, so we have a integer, it's nothing but a whole number without any fractional part. We don't have a fractions, only sequence of digit without a decimal point is called as an integer, a whole number. So these includes numbers such as like 10, 20, any numbers, other numbers that can be used. The integer can be positive or negative. You can have a positive number or you can have a negative values that can be. And the range of numbers, that's what the storage set of values which can be, the range of numbers we can store start from minus 32,769 to plus 32,767. This is the possible value. So the smaller number, negative number, 32,769 from this to maximum up to this whenever we use int. So its capacity is only this much. They occupy 2 bytes of space memory location, that's 2 byte. The possible operation, when you have an integer, what operation you can perform? Addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And also we have a remain, when you divide, quotient you will get, that's the remainder, division, 2 divisions, remainder also you can form. So this is the basic operations which can be performed with the integer data type. So along with the operation, that what you can perform here. Okay. So you can see integer data type means already I said the set of values which can be stored along with the possible operation which will be performed on them. That defines data types. So what is integer means? It's a whole number without any fractional part. It's example like 10, 20 something. So these integers can be positive or negative. Then the range of values which can be stored when you have int means it is 32,000 to 768 to 32,767. That's a range of values which can be stored, and possible operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder operator. So that's something about int data type. So next we'll go with the character char. So when you talk about char, it is a character data type to store any character from the keyboard. Basic set of character set, whatever you can see on the keyboard, it's a character set of the programming language C++. So that can be used to store. It includes the characters such as, like, we have to use a single apostrophe, but it represents a character constant. It's A, Y. This 5 is also treated like character now because I have enclosed in single quotes. Just you wrote 5, it becomes an integer constant. When I enclose by single quotes, any letter or symbol which are enclosed by single quotes, it becomes a character constant. So this also and symbol. So any symbol you can use. Note that characters should be enclosed within a single quotes. That's very important. Okay, this can be single quotes. When a variable of a type character is declared, the compiler will convert the character to its equivalent ASCII value, American Standard Code for Information. So it will, ASCII is a 7-bit, it can store maximum 256 characters. It includes all alphabets, special symbol, and it occupies 1 bytes of memory space. The possible operation are only 2 things, input and output. So this is something about a character data type. So whenever we declare a variable of char means any symbol like this, all the symbols that can be included, but compiler will write is the ASCII value. It converts into its ASCII value, like capital A means 65. And similarly, small letter a means 97. So automatically it works with the character internally represented in the memory, but for us we represent using. And also it takes a 1 byte of space, that is 250 different character can be stored. That's what data type, set of values which can be stored along with the possible operation. What are the operation we can going to perform means input and output. And we shall use them, all those things. These are the facilities available for storing in the memory. So whenever we do programs, we use them. So next we have a float. So this represents, it's a real number. So with the fractional part, represent the numbers with the fractional part. So we have that is nothing but real numbers. It includes numbers such as 10.5, 45.0, minus 5.75, and something like this. So it can be also be positive, negative, both numbers. The range of numbers we can store from, it varies from minus 3.4 into, so e to the minus 38. It's a big number, to positive. So they represent a scientific exponential notation. We have written they occupy 4 bytes of space. And possible operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division only. There is no remainder operator. All addition, subtraction, multiplication and division operation can be performed. Okay, but we do not have the remainder. So this is something about float. This is also data type and real number. To represent real numbers, to handle real number whenever we want to represent the real numbers in our program, you have to write means or do programs means, we have to store means, then you have to define the variable of float type. When you write this float type, and this is the range of values which can handle. And real number you may be knowing how this. And what are the operation we can represent means, it actually uses 4 bytes. That's a space, set of values which can be stored on the 4 bytes. And what are the operation means, addition, subtraction, multiplication, all arithmetic operations. Okay. So next we'll